This is probably blasphemy to some Sony fanboys. And don't do this if you sell and buy cameras all the time. It'll probably affect the resale value. But this forces me to keep cameras longer and help me reach my goal. Because Soul to me is all about muscle memory and customization fitting your needs. Making the gear yours. And Sony is the perfect tool for this. You can mold it and bend it just the way you want. It takes time to get there, lots of time, because Sony's menus are hard to handle and takes time to learn. But when you manage, it's your camera. I just remove all the Sony brands and start from there. And then the wear and tear of using it will do the rest. The paint will rub off and make the metal shine through. That's the look that triggers my nostalgia and fits the feel I want, together with the customization of the keys and the menus. I know that the depth of the possibilities in Sony cameras leaves a steep learning curve. But once you find out how you want it and set it up accordingly, your blank canvas is made your personal camera. But Soul takes time. It can't be bought, if you ask me. I'm not into brands, and Sony is the least branded camera out there in terms of looks. And what brand it has got, I will try to remove to make it my personal camera. As for looks, I like the down-toned and clean black look that almost deflects attention. To me, that's more vintage than any Fuji camera comes with out of the box. And the looks of the Fuji X100 will attract attention, which to me is counterproductive and is the opposite of soul and making it yours. It's mainstream. A nostalgia people should create themselves. I am a slave to the Fuji effect too. As an example, I'm all into Apple products. They just make my life easier. But I'm trying not to preach it, because Apple is about packaging too. And if they didn't force you to upgrade every 6 to 7 generations to be able to support the new iOS, I would recommend Apple products to most, as they could be used for centuries. But as it is, I will just say to you, buy what fits your needs and hope it will continue to fit your needs for a long time. I'm a slave to this effect too, but I try not to be. I came from the Canon 1DS3, switching to the Sony a7 III in 2019. It was a leap in price versus ability, autofocus and dynamic range and size, especially of the lenses, which were made faster and smaller and could fit a bigger zoom range, and were made sharper too, giving me more keepers as a wedding shooter. But since 2019, the changes are more incremental and really not worth it for me. The cameras I have now I could use for at least a century, because technology advancements are good and sometimes they make a difference, but there are far between big leaps, and many times it's mostly packaging without more to offer. The new Fuji X100 Mark VI has only one SD card slot, and it's an old UHS 1 slot. This limits whatever other advancements this camera might have. Don't be fooled. I actually owned a Fuji X100S, the second generation of the camera, but sold it when I tried this little Lumix LX100. The sensor is a little smaller, but the lens is a zoom and is more versatile. It's quicker in use. I'm sure the new version 6 is faster in operation than this one, but this is smaller and more versatile and has all the same buttons as the Fuji. And I toned it down just like the Sony's by removing all the brands, making it stealthy and neutral, just the way I like it. And this one I use for all my personal stuff, so I can wear and tear off it over many centuries, as long as it doesn't break. This is my Fuji X100, and you can customize it nearly as much as a new Sony. Don't be a slave of brands. Think in usability and customization. Make the camera's extension of you. Buy from the old guy.